What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna start making videos about me reading books because one, I'm bored, but two, I feel like it's very interesting to where I could switch up my YouTube channel because um it's hard for me to read books because we live in such a technology, social media age. I feel like we get too overstimulated. At least I do. I feel like I get too overstimulated, and my attention span is extremely short. So um, I'm going to get myself into reading. I have a lot of books. I buy a lot of books, but I don't usually read them. So what really inspired me to make this video is because I came across a couple YouTube channels, and is it's these dudes to where like they literally make videos about them reading books, and I feel like that's just such a smart idea because it gives you that motivation because you're constantly uploading on your YouTube channel. It makes you more motivated to post, and it's more engaging versus if you're just reading by yourself and you're not recording, or like there's no one, or you got nothing to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? And it's good because reading is good because it gets to exercise your brain. You get to like work out your brain, and I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard when you read more books, you actually improve you improve your vocabulary. And I feel like if you really want to improve your speech or just talking to people, I feel like grammar, it could really take you far in life. So I'm gonna start reading books. I'm gonna start posting online and stuff like that. Should be interesting. I'd rather do it in my car and or outside. I don't want to do it in my apartment because the walls are very thin, and I don't want my roommates to hear me. Not my roommates, but people that live next door. I don't want them to hear me because it's late at night, and like I don't want to disturb them or something. But fuck it, I'm just gonna get this out the way because I want to test it out, and I don't like the angle my phone is at, but I'm charging my phone. That's why. So I'm charging it. So um, yeah. So let's get to it. So the book I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna make a series of these. I'm gonna start making videos about me reading books, and I think it'd be kind of cool for my audience as well too, because if there's certain books you guys don't have, I might have them, and I'm gonna read them to you guys. So we'll see how it goes. It's a lot like a new hobby I'm gonna pick up. So the book I'm reading is called How to Be a 3% Man. Now me, I'm very passionate about romance. I'm passionate about dating, and I love to learn more about dating and romance. I'm not saying you have to have a book to improve your dating life or anything like that. No, but I just find it very interesting how other people's perspective on how they approach women, how they approach dating and stuff like that. And I like to buy books about that. Also, am a big fan of Robert Greene. I have a series of his books I'm gonna get into as well. But let's get to it. So this is by Corey Wayne. Um, How to Be a 3% Man. So I'm gonna start reading it. I might not. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I'm not sure if I'm gonna read the whole book or not, but I'm gonna read this book to you guys and see how it goes. So, and again, like I said, it's benefiting me as well too because I'm actually get to read, and it's gonna build better habits. You know what I'm saying? Because if I were to never record it, I would not have the motivation to read it. I'll be bored. Got a bookmark. Let's get to it. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm kind of talking quiet because I'm inside, but tomorrow I'm going to make videos of me in my car and going outside, and then you guys are going to be able to hear me more. So let's get to it. So I'm going to start off from scratch. I'm going to grab my little pen so I'll keep track. So let's get to it. So this is probably a bad angle. I want you guys to see me reading the book, but whatever. Okay, let's get to it. How to Be a 3% Man. Winning the heart of the women of your dreams. Learn pickup, dating, and relationship secrets that only 3% of the world's men know about being successful with women. Written by Corey Wayne. Honor. This book is dedicated to the American soldier. No matter whether the cause is popular or not, I am in awe of the fact that when their country calls them, they go, and they go willingly. They take our place on the battlefield, risking everything they have because it is part of who they are. They are all my heroes, and I owe all of my success, happiness, and opportunities to past, present, and future generations of their kind. May God keep them safe and speed the day to us when their sacrifice is no longer required, because humanity has learned that the real enemy is hatred itself, and that the way to real happiness is unconditional love. Until that day comes, I take great pride and comfort in knowing they will continue to stand up and show us what real honor and integrity is. I dedicate my life to helping bring humanity closer together and always giving my gifts to the world in hopes that I may honor all of their collective sacrifices so they are not in vain. Okay. I got a lot to read. I'm starting from scratch. This is actually pretty fun. I'm actually love this shit. I think I found a new hobby. I dead ass found a new hobby of mine. This shit's actually pretty fucking fun. If you guys are bored or if you guys don't know what to do when you're alone, I recommend recording yourself and just record yourself reading books that you're interested in, and read that shit and record it. I'm telling you, this shit's actually pretty fucking fun. So let's get to it. And shout out to the YouTube channels that I've seen people do this shit, because that shit's fucking good. And it's gonna improve your grammar. Me growing up, I stutter a lot. I used to stutter a lot. I used to have speech problems and stuff like that. So I take my education very seriously. I'll tell you guys more about my background from my education later, but let's get to it. I recommend getting a pen too, so you can keep track of the words you're reading. So let's get to it. Now, acknowledgements. I would like to thank my mother, who taught me to be so determined and never give up no matter what. I would also like to thank Tony Robbins for being such a great leader and mentor in my life. I would also like to thank my dad for teaching me the difference between right and wrong. I am grateful for the close relationship we have today. I love you very much. Oh shit, my phone. I also would like my brother Chris to know how proud I am to have you as my brother. All you have gone through to achieve your dreams is inspiring me. I love you very much. For all the women in my life who have helped me become the man I am today, I am grateful. You know who you are. I would also like to express my gratitude to you, the reader. You are embarking on a journey that will change the world by becoming the loving person you are inside and being comfortable with that person. You unconsciously give permission to all others to do the same. Your children will grow up in a household where they get to see firsthand what a truly unconditional, loving relationship is like. Therefore, they will go out into the world and model. I'm trying to find a different angle, man. Nah. I don't want people seeing my background and shit I have in my room. I'd also like to express my gratitude to you, the reader. I forgot where the fuck I was at. Fuck it. Your children will grow up in a household where they get to see firsthand what a truly unconditional, loving relationship is like. Therefore, they will go out into the world and model your success. They will continue to impact society for generations to come and start reducing the amount of dysfunctional relationships that exist today. The benefits will be far too reaching to imagine. The surface benefit will be happier kids, aunts, uncles, grandparents, parents, teachers, workers, etc., which will translate into less crime, less hate, more understanding, and a world that continues to come closer and closer together in love until one day hatred becomes a thing of the past. The light always scatters the darkness. The higher energy of love always replaces the lower energies of hate and resentment. And I'm going to read the table of contents. So I'm starting from scratch. Table of contents. Part 1 in the beginning. Introduction. Why this book was written. Why you need to read this book more than once. Part 2. The way things are. My evolution of understanding. Why you should not get advice from women about women. Why women want to chase you. Why you should never listen to your friends about dating advice. How many healthy relationships do you see out there? Perceptions of control. Masculine and feminine energy. Fuck. This is a better angle. I don't want it to fall. I'm charging my phone, that's why. It's a good angle. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Okay. My evolution of understanding why you should not get advice from women about women. Why women want to chase you. It's falling? Okay. Why women want to chase you. Why women should never listen to your friends about dating advice. How many healthy relationships do you see out there? Perceptions of control, masculine and feminine energy. Part 3, the art of understanding. Looking for love. Don't be so serious. Compliments from the beginning. What women emotionally respond to. Women fall in love a lot slower than men. Women are like cats, men are like dogs. Knocking out the competition. Part 4, it's not all about you. Making your ideal woman's list of qualities. Becoming the person you want to attract. Where do you go to meet women? Meeting women on the internet. Dealing with insecurity. Control freaks and abusive men. The need for certainty. Staying on track. The purpose of all relationships. Making lasting change. Part 5, making your move. Approaching the beautiful woman. The path to success. The many shades of no. Again, it's not all about you. Handling the pressure points. Timing is everything. The test of time. It's all in the numbers. Part 6, the first step. Your first date. Do's and don'ts of the first date. The secret of dating. The kiss test. The right approach. Part 7, I think. Keep it steady. Continue the mystery. The pursuit. Moving into relationships. Testing during the first 60 days. The big bounce. The L word. Part 9. I can't even read those fucking words. So you see this? I think it's called numericals. Numerical numbers. I can't read that shit. So I don't know which number is which. So hang on. I'm gonna go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, number 8. Pay attention. The art of communication. The art of knowing. Weathering the storm. Women don't lie. Men don't listen. The secret language of women. Part 9. I don't know. Taking it to the next level. Sharing of yourself. The gift. It feels like making love. The final commitment. Part 10. Keeping it all together. The care and feeding of women. Keeping the magic alive. Polarity is a key to maintaining desire. Become comfortable being yourself. The many faces of endings. The 10 disciplines of love. Conclusion. Okay, so now we're starting. So we're in the introduction. So this is page 1. This is fun. I actually like this shit. I just wish I was in my car, or I wish it was during the daytime, or I wish I was outside, because I'll be reading a lot more louder. I know my voice kind of sounds boring, but I'll be more engaged, but because I gotta keep quiet. But let's get to it. Part 1, in the beginning. Introduction. The beginning. This is the place where men need to get back to in order to make the changes needed to win the heart of the woman of their dreams. It is time to go back and decide whether you really want who you really are and what you plan to do with the wealth of information that I will be teaching you throughout this book. As the story goes, in the beginning, there was only one man, Adam. There was one special lady, Eve, created just for him. Life would be so much simpler if that were the case for us today. No muss and fuss of dating. No worry that our lady is going to walk out the door and into the arms of another man. There was no other man. Here is the greatest thing about this book. While you may not be able to create the one special lady just for you, I am going to teach you what to look for in a woman and how to find and attract the woman that you ideally want. When you finally do meet her, I am going to teach you how to approach her. You will learn what to say, and especially what not to say, to turn her off. Basically, what I will be teaching you is the art of being a 3% man. Interesting. The next obvious question is, okay, what is a 3% man? This is a very important concept and that you will be learning over the course of this book. I am not trying to tell you to only be 3% man and open the rest of your masculinity to explore your feminine side. The 3% man is one of the 3 men out of 100 that a woman meets and is drawn to because he understands who she is and better yet understand who he is in life. Usually the top 3% in any field of area make most of the money, enjoy most of the success, have the best toys, date the most beautiful people, and generally live the kind of lives most people only dream of. Why does being in the 3% matter? Simply stated, it matters because these are the men that women are drawn to. One of the most important things to understand when you meet a woman is that women love mystery. They love a guy that is his own man, despite what others think about him or who he should be. They love a guy that is confident and goes for what he wants in life without fear. They want a man that is centered, one that is in control of himself, has purpose, and knows where he is going. A woman wants a man she can't have her way with, and no matter what she says or does, she is not going to be able to sway away from his path or from his purpose in life. A true alpha male, a man who goes for what he wants and has positive expectations that he will achieve his goals, will choose his purpose and his passion over a woman if faced with a choice. Masculine energy, after all, is about purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, achieving goals, etc. Be honest, gentlemen. If you do not care at all, you will not have picked up this book. Obviously, something is not working with what you are already doing. Women love men that understand them and how attraction works. If you ask most guys if they understand women, they look at you like you are speaking a foreign language. Most guys are clueless in that department. The sad reality is most men are talking women right out of dating them, sleeping with them, having a relationship with them, etc., because they simply have no idea what creates attraction and what turns a woman off. What this book will do for you is to give you more than just a clue. It will give you a whole new insight into understanding women, the subtle difference that make the difference in attracting women. I will take you through the process of understanding step by simple step. This book was designed to give you the answers to the questions you have about women regarding pickup techniques, dating skills, relationship skills, communication, attraction, sex, etc. Think of this book as a coaching manual that gives you the baseline knowledge of how to attract with women successfully. Throughout the book, I will give you search terms you can Google that will bring up specific articles and YouTube videos on my website that go into more detail of essential skills, techniques, and knowledge related to specific parts of this book. Many of the articles on my website have the actual emails included from other readers, viewers. I have analyzed and diagnosed their email and inserted my comments in them so you can learn from where they went wrong. Since most people find out about my book from my website and the fact that I've created thousands of articles and videos since publishing the first edition of this book, it's easier to reference them throughout this book instead of trying to incorporate them all here. I will take you from your initial meeting to making love for the first time. This book will help to lift the cloudy haze that surrounds the mysteries of the pickup, dating, and relationship world. Understanding women and will give you clear insight into achieving your goals. I will explain why women fall for jerks and blow off the nice guys. You will learn to understand the meaning of everything she says. Give me 1 second. This is the most I've read out loud in a long time. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to be right back. Got my bookmark. Motherfucker. Again, How to Be a 3% Man. It's a good book. Back, fucking hungry. All right. I should have grabbed a napkin. My hands are wet. And that's what she said. All right, so let's get to it. I lost track where I was at, man. Goddamn. Fuck. I'm not gonna lie, I lost track, so I might repeat myself. Fuck it. Okay. I know where I'm at. Alright. To you. You will learn that women tend to be driven by emotion and connection instead of logic and reason like men are. Feminine energy is about opening up to receive love, bonding, connection, etc. Women are physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually designed to receive a man. I would take you from the initial moment to meeting your dream lady to the lady you walk down the aisle to get married and live happily ever after. If that's your goal, you can also use why I teach to meet and date lots of different women until you figure out what you really want. The best is yet to come. I will also teach you, once you land Mrs. Right, how to keep her madly in love with you so that you do live happily ever after. In this book, you will learn things that many women do not even understand about themselves. Why do women say they want one thing and then respond to another? Which is true. Most important of all, I will teach you how to win the heart of the beautiful woman of your dreams. That is not a misprint. If you allow yourself to take my guidance and are willing to learn, I will give you the skills and tools to help you finally understand women and have the relationship of your dreams. The wonderful truth is that if you treat a woman properly and allow her to come to you at her own pace with minimal and simple actions on your part, she will do most of the chasing, calling, texting, and pursuing. That allows you to focus on what's most important in any man's life, your mission and purpose. Ironically, the more you focus on and passionately pursue your purpose in life, the more attractive woman will find you in general. A man pursuing a purpose he has a burning desire to accomplish gives off a much happier, peaceful, relaxed, successful, inviting, confident, and positive vibe than a guy who hates his job, his life, and his circumstances. What you will learn from me is what only about 3 out of every 100 men know, and that is how to understand women. Is why I'm reading this book. It's actually free. So if you guys, my audience watching this YouTube channel, you should be thankful, because this book costs over $100. I bought this shit like three years ago. Probably 5 years ago. So this is a free book to you guys, basically, if you guys pay attention. I understand it's kind of boring right now because, like I said, I'm inside. I'm keeping my voice quiet. But tomorrow, once I'm outside or in my car, it's gonna sound more engaging. I'm gonna be more louder. I'm gonna be more into the book because I don't read robotic like that. I like to give emotion when I'm reading, and I like to give out my points when I'm reading as well too. I like to use my life examples as well, so just bear with me. There's only part 1. I probably won't finish the whole book, but we'll see. Where was I? I'm gonna start from where I left off. What you will learn from me is what only about 3 out of every 100 men know, and that is how to understand a woman. Once you understand and apply the principles in this book to your dating and relationships, you will be in the top 3% of men out there. You can be confident that you will have little or no competition when you finally target the woman of your desires, especially when you can notice and see firsthand with your own eyes and ears how badly the average guy is blowing it with women. Google Corey Wayne, why you have no competition. You do not have to look like Brad Pitt to own the heart of a beautiful woman. If you are single, there is an amazingly beautiful woman out there desperate to meet the man you really are, like you, on the inside. I will teach you how to become balanced, centered, and confident with women, and to no longer be intimidated by them. even the beautiful ones. You will learn that you must treat all women the same. Easier said than done. As a matter of fact, a big reason why guys fail with women they have a perfectly good chance of seducing is because they treat women they like and want differently than women they don't, which is true. They put women on a pedestal and treat them like a celebrity instead of a real human being. I feel like that happens is because of lust, because men are sexually attracted to the women that they're attracted to, so it's hard for men to stay grounded like that, and it makes them nervous. I struggle with that. Where was I? I gotta fucking mark my shit. When you learn that you must treat all women the same, as a matter of fact, a big reason why guys fail with women they have a perfectly good chance of seducing is because they treat women they like and want differently than women they don't. They put women on a pedestal and treat them like a celebrity instead of a real human being. They act like they are unworthy of her and don't even realize that they're doing it. Women have no choice but to agree with their bad behavior and reject them. Ouch. Some of the things I will teach you in order to become successful with women may seem the opposite of what you think you should do. If you want to meet and own the heart of the woman of your dreams, or get your wife to fall back in love with you, then this book is the key to that kingdom. These principles apply to women everywhere in the world, regardless of their location or culture. I coach men from all over the world and from some of the most conservative societies. Guess what? Women and men respond emotionally to what they respond to, no matter where they live or what their cultural background is. Becoming successful with women starts before you ever even meet a woman that you want to date. You first need to learn how to attract the right woman into your life. Once you meet her, you have to know what to say, what not to say, and how to get her contact information so you can let her call and take her out on a date, or if you're really confident, you can make a date the moment you meet her. You want to take measured, consistent steps with women. Practice what I teach and take risks based upon your own comfort level. Progress always involves risk. You can't steal second base and keep your foot on first. Quote by Frederick Wilcox. Then comes the next step. How long after you get her information should you wait to call? Do you call her the next day? Do you wait a week? Do you call her in 2 days? Make a date on the spot? What do you do? My goal with the techniques and strategies I teach is to give you plenty of tools for your pickup, dating, and relationship toolbox. Once you understand the mindset and actions that man should take, the words really don't matter. It is how you say things rather than what you say that matters. That's true because women operate off of emotions. Women are not logical like men. So this is why men and women tend to clash a lot, is because women have more estrogen, men have more testosterone. Women are more in the present moment. They don't care logically about the past, about the future. They're focused on the present moment based on their emotions. So this is why, like he said, it's important how you say it, not then what you say that matters. You get what I'm saying? So I could go on hours with this shit, but because that's why women tend to fall for the bad boys, is because the bad boys know how to gauge a woman's emotions, versus the nice guy doesn't know how to control a woman's emotions. Women like excitement, they like to feel good because they're ruled by emotions. So like this is why he said it's not how you say it, rather this is why he said it's important. It is about how you say it rather than what you say that matters, if that makes sense. So let's continue. From the time you meet your lady to the point where you've been together for 10 years or more, you are always going to be gauging what her level of attraction to you is and what her emotional attraction to you is. The simple principle that all this is based upon is that when women have a high level of attraction, they help you. In other words, if you just meet a woman and you want to ask her out on a date, she is going to help you get to her front door or meet up for a date. She will make it easy for you. Adam Carolla, the comedian, said that when a woman likes you, she starts opening her doors, and all you have to do is walk through them. But if they start closing in their face, you simply walk away. The key is to know when to walk away and when to take action. Guys who fail with women tend to chase and pursue too much to the point of appearing like a stalker when they sense a woman pulling away. Google Corey Wayne act like a stalker, get rejected. I like to call this the illusion of action. They falsely believe that by taking action, they will make something happen. Unfortunately, all that happens is that they make the girl go away and start ignoring them. The lower her levels of attraction is, the harder it is going to be to get to her front door or meet up for a date, if at all. So throughout this process of going back to the beginning and relearning how to approach women, you will be learning what to say, how to say it, and you will know how to respond to her questions and her tests. Make no mistake, all women test. They test because they want to know what it is that you are made of. They want to know that if they push you or lean on you, that you are not going to fall over and cave into what they want. Google Corey Wayne, women bluff to test your strength. They want you to act like more of a man than they do. A man is supposed to be the leader and gently lead the interaction to where he wants it to go. Ultimately, a man and a woman who like each other eventually end up having sex. That is, after all, the objective of seduction. The purpose of a date is to create a fun-filled, romantic opportunity for sex to happen. Biologically, men and women are driven to mate with the most dominant member of the opposite sex. Attractive and healthy bodies are indicative of people with strong genes who will produce strong offspring that can survive to adulthood and reproduce. This is why, what you look physically technically does not matter. It's about how you make a woman feel and the connection. But you have to take care of your body. It doesn't hurt to lift weights. It doesn't hurt to do cardio. It doesn't hurt to do exercises, because women are also attracted to physical bodies. The same way men are attracted to women with curvy bodies, Women feel the same way with men, but with muscles on them. So it's always important to take care of the human body, but it's just part of the human experience, being healthy. You have to have a strong body. You have to run, exercise, focus on your mental health, but also focus on your physical health as well too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Now, anyway. This perpetuates another successful generation with the family genes being passed on. I will teach you the behaviors, body language, physiology, and the words of a dominant male so you can start succeeding with women like never before. Ooh, it's getting interesting. That's why I like this book, man. It's intriguing. It doesn't have to be facts, but I just like I'm into this shit. On my website, understandingrelationships.com, and YouTube channel, Coach Corey Wayne, I discuss questions from people just like you who are implementing what I teach. I critique their game by commenting on what they are doing right, what they are doing wrong, and what they need to do in the future to improve. I encourage you to sign up for my free e-newsletter on my website, or subscribe to my YouTube channel to fine-tune your approach. Why this book was written. Let me ask you a few questions and see whether or not they hit close to home for you. Are you one of those guys that had said more than once, why is it that the women I want never want me, and the ones I don't want are crazy about me? I could definitely relate to this shit. It seems like every woman that I find attractive, they either don't want me or they do want me, but they're very difficult. And the women I don't want that are ugly tend to like me. I don't like that shit. Have you met a beautiful woman that you just knew was your soulmate, but she would never give you your first dates or go out with you on a second date? Have you ever asked a woman why she would not go out with you and she never gives you what seems to be a straight answer? Have you ever felt that a woman really liked you and she even gave you her phone number, but then would never go out with you? Have you ever had women flake on you and cancel dates at the last minute for bullshit reasons? Do you feel like women have been giving you the runaround? Have you ever had a girlfriend say to you, "Can we just be friends? We need to take a break. I'm confused," etc., when you thought everything was going great? Has she ever said she just wanted to be friends after telling you a few weeks before that she loved you? Do you have a hot girlfriend that you would like to turn into a girlfriend? Google Corey Wayne how to turn a friend into a girlfriend, and Corey Wayne stuck in the friendship zone, how to turn a girlfriend into a girlfriend, and Corey Wayne asking friends to become girlfriends. Are you in a relationship that is not going well? You have no clue how to turn it around. Has your wife or girlfriend, or of however many years, stopped being a feminine woman you fell in love with? Has your wife or girlfriend ever uttered those fateful words, "You never listened to me"? Has your wife left you and you are still trying to figure out what the hell happened? Has a woman ever said things to you that just do not make sense? Has your girlfriend or wife ever said it was okay for you to do something and then you did it and she was pissed off? Are you totally confused about women and feel as though you do not have a clue how to understand them? Have you ever had a woman break a date and tell you she really wanted to see you, but you could never seem to coordinate that date to go out with her? Have you ever made a date with a lady and she told you to call before you came to pick her up and then could never get her to pick up her phone again? Do you feel like women in general do not make any sense? That they say one thing and do another, or make you feel as though they like you and then never will go out with you? Do you feel like nothing you do seems to make your lady happy, even when you do what she says she wants? There's a lot of fucking shit. This is a really good book. After all your years of dating, do you feel like you still have never been able to get the type of lady you know in your heart you really want and deserve? Are you a really nice guy that always gets dumped for the bad boy by your ladies? Google Corey Wayne, why nice guys finish last. And nice guys finishes last again, and you're too much of a nice guy. Have you ever seen a drop dead gorgeous woman with a man that is, well, let's say, challenged in the looks department, and wonder to yourself, how do you do that? So a lot of people can actually relate to this, where we've seen a guy or a dude who's either not doing well in life, who doesn't take care of himself physically, or he's just a fucking bum, or he's like a thug, but he seems to have a very hot, attractive woman, or women tend to be drawn to these types of guys. So a lot of people, including myself, can relate to this. I've actually seen this shit. While you got like attractive guys or guys who have their shit together, they can seem to attract like a beautiful woman. This book will explain it. I'm going to repeat the question on why on the things I said. Have you ever seen a drop dead gorgeous woman with a man that is, well, let's say, challenged in the looks department, and wonder to yourself, how did he do that? We're going to find out. I don't know when, but eventually we're going to find out. This book is for the guys that have met a woman and could not ever seem to get to her front porch or meet her for a first date. It is for those guys that have maybe met a woman, went out on the first date and thought everything was going great, but then cannot seem to ever get her on the phone again. It is for those guys who have met a woman they thought seemed really interested and she gave them a phone number, but then they cannot seem to get her on the phone. She has lame excuses as to why she can't see him this week, or she is always busy. It is for those guys that may have been dating a woman for a while and were spending a lot of time together, but then all of a sudden she started cutting the dates short. She starts calling, texting, messaging less and less. She has other things going on, or she is just not available as she used to be. This book is also for guys that are married, The first thing a 3% man learns is that the courtship never stops. Google Corey Wayne, The Courtship Never Ends. This book is for those guys that may have been married for some time and now your wife does not ever want to touch you. It's for those guys that maybe want to take their wives out to dinner and find that their woman never wants to spend any time with them. It's for those guys who want to get the sexual attraction spark back in their relationship to their wives. Look at them with the same desire and interest that they used to. That's why it's very important to not settle, it's hard to explain, but you have to, there's all women always crave attention, not to overdo it, but more so like, you gotta be interesting, you gotta be intriguing. It's like you always gotta not just treating your woman, but it's anyone in general, where like, yeah, of course they're gonna be bored, or like eventually you're still gonna have to take your woman out on dates. You guys gonna have to travel around the world, work out together, do something that's different and that's interesting, that keeps the connection stimulating. So that's kind of common sense, you know what I'm saying? If you just work, go home, see her every day in the house, yeah, eventually she's gonna be bored, you're gonna be bored, and the connection's gonna die down. Eventually she's gonna find someone that's interesting. It's not even her being interesting or being interested, is more so she has to feel like you care about her. And in order for her to feel like you care about her, you have to constantly take her out or surprise her. You don't have to do it every day, but you have to do it every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is why I feel like it's common sense, because if you're actually genuinely into someone or love someone, you would want to go out with them every now and then. You would want to try different things, go on different dates, explore around the world, just do something where you're spending time with them, surprise them, or being romantic, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's kind of common sense, but maybe there are some guys out there that generally don't know that, you know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like that is a reflection of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't find meaning and purpose in yourself, if you're not looking out for yourself, then I feel like that's going to reflect on how you treat the woman that you're into, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so I used to be one of those guys. Let me share my story. Growing up, I remember having a lot of crushes on girls, but never getting the ones I wanted. When I tried to get the ones I wanted, my heart was usually stomped on. In high school, I would write letters to girls I liked or get my friends to ask them out for me. I was so scared of rejection, I could barely talk to the ones I was really interested in. I felt completely inadequate around women in general. Google Corey Wayne, 3 Ways to Seduce Women. Ever so slowly, I overcame my fear of just talking to them and took the safe approach by repressing my feelings. I did not know it at the time, but when a guy holds back because he does not know what to say, is fearful of or simply intimidated by women, flirting and talking with women becomes awkward and the woman can feel it. This leads to rejection. My favorite approach back then, I decided to take the friendship route to their heart. I invested months in this process, and when I could no longer take it, I would tell them how I really felt. For some strange reason, they still wanted to just be friends. At the time, I did not get it. Let me rephrase that. I did not have a clue. My senior high school prom was interesting. I had a crush on a girl in my class who had a boyfriend. While at a party, I asked another girl I liked to go to prom, and her response was, "I don't know you very well." In my infinite wisdom, I tried to reason with her and convince her to say yes. I had yet to learn that women are emotional beings and like to connect and create rapport via conversation. Similar experiences and emotions. Guys tend to be logic and reason driven. If a woman's emotions are not engaged, it will always be fruitless. My assurance that we would get to know each other at prom and that I had a lot of popular friends did not seem to sway her. I could not understand her. I could not understand her logic. My thought was, hey, I'm a senior and she's only a junior. My fallacy of using male logic and reason to get women to do what you want. It didn't make sense to me. Here's a clue, guys. Her response actually meant, "No, thank you. I am not interested in going out with you or getting to know you at all." So why did she not just come right out and say that? We'll get to that a little later. Back to prom. A friend of a friend sent me up with yet another friend as a blind prom date. Well, once we pulled up into the limo to pick her up, I realized she was much taller than I was. She was a volleyball player and, and a very nice girl. She liked her friend said she was. Just like her friend said she was. We had fun together. The next morning, I realized why she set me up with her very tall friend. She had ulterior motives. My friend Carl's date had asked him to the prom. Carl had asked me to ask one of the cheerleaders that was a friend of mine to prom for him. She said, "No thanks." He was the type of friend that would do anything for anyone. He was a great guy, but unfortunately he knew as much about women as I did, which was nothing. The girl that went with Carl only wanted someone to go with. She had no real interest in him. Carl promptly decided to fall in love with her. Once we were all back at the hotel, Carl got pretty upset when he tried to make his move and got rejected. Ouch. That must have hurt. He had a lot of drinks and kept going on and on about how he had been rejected by his date to everyone he saw. Our senior class had the whole floor of the hotel. You can't imagine what was going on with all those unsupervised drunk teenagers. Party like a rock star. The next morning, I woke up to my feet being rubbed by the friend that had set me up with my prom date. She was dating another friend of mine and apparently had a crush on me. Ooh, interesting. We'll see how it goes. At the time, I thought, great, another one who wants me that I don't want, and the one I do want is with someone else. We all know that feeling. I know that feeling. I had a crush on someone else who had a boyfriend. That's pretty much how my life went for a few years after that. I can relate to that. I seemed to always want a girl that was unavailable or hard to, or had no interest in me. I figured over time she would fall for me. If I could just be a nice enough guy, then she would like me. It never worked. Nice guys always seem to finish last. Why is that? I kept trying to figure women out. I became better at approaching them with time. But back then, I used alcohol to overcome my insecurities. Bad look. Hit the gym, run, focus on your mental health, heal it, figure out your hobbies and the stuff you love to do. Don't focus on drugs. It's a lose-lose situation. Let's get back to the book. I kept trying to figure women out. I became better at approaching them with time. But back then, I used alcohol to overcome my insecurities. In the next few paragraphs, I have included brief stories of the ones I felt were turning points in my life, or when I learned a great deal more that helped to lift a cloudy veil from my understanding of women. When I was 24, I met a girl that was a friend of one of my best buddies. I was instantly enamored with her, and better yet, she really seemed to like me. I got her number and called her at work, and she said she would call me back later. The next day, she actually did call me back. I was stunned. I had a live one. She did a lot of talking. I didn't say much at the time because I was in shock. I just kept asking questions because I wanted to know everything about her. She was fascinating to me. To me, she was a perfect 10. Long, dark, straight hair, beautiful hazel eyes, very tan skin, 105 pounds and 5'2". She was really sweet and friendly and very forward. She asked me if I wanted to go to lunch, and I told her I would have to check my schedule and get back to her. I am kidding. I made plans right there on the spot. Tip: when a woman asks you out or suggests that you go on a date, it means she has a high level of attraction for you. Take notes. I'm going to read it again. I am kidding. I made plans right there on the spot. Tip: when a woman asks you out or suggests that you go on a date, it means she has a high level of attraction to you. That's how women communicate. They get out hints. Women are not straightforward. This is why it's always important to learn about social cues and pick up on social hints and stuff like that. Because women, they're not direct. They're more passive because they're more emotional. So you gotta pay attention to shit like that. I was a project engineer at the time for a construction company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, working on a project right on the ocean. She showed up for our date on time and in this unbelievably tight outfit with very short shorts that showed her amazingly heavenly figure off. She took my breath away, as well as that of everyone else sitting at the conference table in the on-site construction office. I felt like I was walking on the air as I casually strolled over to give her a hug. She smelled like candy. When we walked outside, she was chatting away and touching my arm. Physical contact is another indicator of attraction a woman has for you. The higher her attraction, the more she'll want to have her hands on you. She just seemed so happy to be there with me. I was in shock and my stomach was in knots. We sat there and had lunch, and I was in awe. God had finally blessed me with the woman of my dreams, and one who amazingly enough seemed so interested in me. I'm not picking my nose. My nose is just so fucking itchy. I think I have allergies. My nose always gets itchy for some reason, like the right side, always. It's probably dust. I have all the dust in here. Excuse me, I'm sorry. After the date, I did nothing all afternoon except fantasize about how the rest of my life was going to be, when we were going to live, how beautiful our kids were going to be, what it would be like making love to her, and on and on. How many times have you thought that way when meeting the woman who knocked your socks off? She called me later on that night, and we talked for hours. What I should have done was get off the phone and set the next definite date. I'm gonna start all over. I got lost. My apologies. Me later on that night, and we talked for hours. What I thought I have done was get off the phone and set the next definite date. I would have built more sexual anticipation that way. As the days went by, she just kept calling me and was really aggressive. We went out for lunch the next following week and met out for drinks a few times. An important tip is to treat a woman like a lover always. Never a friend, or she will assume you are gay, weak, lack confidence, etc. And generally not a catch. If you act like a nice guy and do lunches and movies, but never make a physical move to kiss her or touch her, etc., usually by the second or third date, you'll get the "let's just be friends" speech. Men who are successful and have choice with women plan evening dates that can lead to sex at your place or her place. I like to call it a fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen. That is, after all, the whole point of seduction, to get closer and closer to her until you end up inside of her. I remember one night when I took another guy friend and met her out at a nightclub her father owned. She seemed to know everyone there. Every time we got to talking, someone else would take her away from our conversation. After a while, my friend wanted to go somewhere else. He said she was just jerking me around and that we should go. I hadn't seen her for a while, so we left. Early the next morning, she called and asked, where did you go last night? I was looking everywhere for you. My only thought was, what? Agreeing to or making group dates with her or your friends almost always leads to you getting cock-blocked and rejected. I learned that lesson the hard way too many times. No group dates until she's officially your girlfriend and in love with you. It references with a woman's ability to bond with you emotionally. Women are also afraid of being labeled a slut by their friends. Therefore, if you plan group dates, her fear of being labeled a slut is if she sleeps with you right away will get in the way of seducing her successfully. The night before, I had left as though I was just another guy and she had lost interest in me. I put it off as a figment of my imagination, and I was back in the game. Walking away had a positive effect on her attraction for me, but I did not understand this at the time. I later learned that it is a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. Google Corey Wayne science proves women are more attracted to women. Google Corey Wayne science proves women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. This went on for a few more weeks until she stopped calling me. I called her and received no answer. The next day, she called me at home and left a message to say she was calling me back. She knew I wasn't home and would be at work. She usually called my pager when she wanted to get a hold of me. Finally, she no longer returned my calls. I was devastated. My dream girl did not want me. I was stunned. I sent her flowers. She called to say thanks, but then gave me an answer I didn't understand when I asked her to go out with me again. Needless to say, she no longer wanted anything to do with me. It hurt even more when I heard she was dating another guy. Ouch. I thought, how could you just toss me aside like that? My nice guy approach and not making a move got me nowhere. About 6 months later, I met the girl who would become my first wife. We met on a Friday night. I was leaving our favorite hangout with my friend Scene, and a mutual friend of ours, PK, ran after me to tell me that her friend Shin really had the hots for me and wanted to meet me. Scene and I walked back in, and I confidently strolled up to her. I really wanted to leave, but I thought, hey, this cute girl really likes me. So I gave her my business card and told her to call me. She replied, I don't call guys, so here's your card back, and I'll give you my phone number if you like. I was a little surprised, but I took her number. I called her early the next week to ask her out and talk to her mother. I never heard back from her. The following Friday, I ran into PK again, and she asked, whatever happened with Shane? I told her I had left a message with Shane's mother and never heard back from her. PK said, I guarantee she did not get the message because her parents never tell her when someone calls for her. She told me I needed to call her again. Early the next week, I called and actually got her on the phone. We made a date for that Thursday. We went out and had a really good time. We dated for about a year and a half, and then I decided I wanted to move to Orlando because I just love everything about the city. Everything was new and growing, and I just felt like it was the place for me. Shane told me the only way she would move to Orlando is if we were engaged to get married. So I went ahead and bought an engagement ring. After getting the ring, I remembered feeling as though it was not the right thing to do and that I was not ready to get married. I didn't want to lose my relationship with Shane and proposed anyway. Even afterwards, I had doubts. After talking to my friends, I came to the conclusion that I just had cold feet. I was simply too weak to stand up for myself and be a man at the time. We did get married, but it was a difficult marriage. I wasn't happy in my career and wanted to start my own business. Neither one of us was fulfilled in our relationship with each other. A little over a year after getting married, we were down in Fort Lauderdale at my friend Scene's wedding. I went out for a night on the town with PK's husband and a friend of mine, Alan, while our wives stayed home. We ran into two sisters we had gone to high school with. One of them had a huge crush on. We were both exploring spirituality and had an amazing conversation. She had been a cheerleader, and I remember sitting there thinking about how I didn't feel this way about my wife. A few weeks later, I decided it wasn't fair to either one of us to stay together. I was not giving her the love she deserved. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do, but I told her I did not want to stay together. We remained friends until she moved back home a few years later, and we lost touch. That sounds painful. I was free, so I thought, hang on, I'm fucking itchy. I was free, or so I thought, free to find the type of woman I knew I really deserved and desperately wanted to be with. I did not date or even want to date for about 6 months. I just wanted to heal and get clear. I focused on my new business and personal growth. When I felt ready, I started working on trying to find the type of woman I really wanted to be with. It was not long before I met one. From the moment I laid eyes on her, she took my breath away. There was only one small problem. She had a boyfriend. I thought, just my luck. Yet another woman I want that is unavailable. Do you see a pattern here? I continued to date other women, and about 2 years after meeting her, she became single again. I was at the bar where she worked, and she was telling me that she had recently broken up with her boyfriend. I asked her for her number, as usual, almost fell over when she gave it to me. I couldn't believe it. So I called her the next day, and we set up a date for Saturday. Years later, I realized that I tended to fall for unavailable women because emotionally it felt exactly the same as my relationship with my mother. Both of my parents were emotionally zombies. No kissing, hugging, hand holding, I love yous, etc. Between each other, they were the same way towards my brother and me. We got yelled at and smacked around when we upset them, but never heard, I'm proud of you, great job, I love you, etc. We just got verbal and physical abuse when we were young and mostly ignored the rest of the time. I love my parents, but as I got older, I realized that they were pretty fucked up emotionally. They came from fucked up families also. However, I had forgiven them, and I would not be who I am without their parenting, good and bad. It made me really tough and able to endure insults from anyone and overcome tremendous odds. That's helped me. That's helped me tremendously to persevere when things look hopeless, to find a way, not a way out, when faced with challenges. I took her out on my jet skis when we were at a friend's lakefront house. We rode around the weather all day, stopping at a lakeside restaurant for lunch. For only the second time in my life, I was on a date with the type of woman I really wanted to be with. The day was perfect and I was on cloud nine. I started fantasizing again about the future, what our kids would be like, where we will live, and what a fabulous life I would have with her. Well, she was leaving on vacation and would be gone for a week. So when I thought she would be back, I sent her an email. I didn't hear from her a couple of days. I thought she'd blown me off. I was hurt. So I wrote a long, nasty email accusing her of mistreating me and made an ass of myself. When she did finally get back in town, she sent a nasty email in return and told me to get lost. I tried apologizing for months afterwards, but it did not do any good. She would not take my calls or returns or calls or return my emails. So there I was, strike two. I resolved to not get married again unless I found the type of woman I really wanted to. I'm gonna start over. I tried apologizing for months afterwards, but did not do any good. She would not take my calls or returns or return my emails. So there I was, strike two. I resolved to not get married again unless I found the type of woman I really wanted and knew I deserved. When I was 30, I started picking through all the information I could get my hands on about how to understand women. Some of it went against everything I had believed to be right. My success with the ones I really wanted never got past the first few weeks, so I felt I had nothing to lose and everything to gain by trying some of the information out. I read some of the books and website articles out there and thought, now I have it. A guy whose work really helped open my eyes was Doc Love. His website is doclove.com. I encourage you to buy his dating dictionary. You can download his Kindle version or order a paperback one with CDs. I think it's $100 on his website with the CDs and $29 for just the Kindle version on Amazon.com. I don't agree with everything he believes teaches, and some things he teaches I found to not be accurate, but he is mostly spot on and funny as hell. Doc helped me realize I could apply my sales skills to pre-qualifying a woman's interest before taking her out on a date to make sure she was really interested in me romantically. I went out and started applying the principles I learned in self-help, Doc stuff, and dozens of others, and was amazed at how my being a challenge, indifferent, making definite dates, using body language, attraction skills, simply pick up approaches, seduction techniques, only using a phone to set dates and not to talk, asking questions, only calling the girl once per week for a date, etc. had a positive effect on the lady's attraction level. I dated one woman who claimed to have posted for Playboy on our first date. She showed me the pictures to get my opinion, expecting me to drool. I thought to myself, oh my, those can't be real. I maintained my composure and said they were nicely done. After a few weeks, I realized that although she was physically a 10, everything else in her life was not exactly what I was looking for. I never caught her again. She was a mess. She lived with her ex-husband and their kids. The house was always a mess. She was never ready when I went to pick her up for the first time. I blew off a beautiful woman. Now I started thinking that I really understood women and was a little full of myself. A few weeks later, I met a girl who just blew me away. I was intoxicated with her beauty and sex appeal. I looked her right in the eyes that night we met and said, with 100% certainty, "You're intoxicating to look at." She was and still is to this day one of the most beautiful, sexy, charming, and fun women on the planet. We dated for a few weeks and then things started getting a little squirrely. She started out calling me every day, and I acted as though I knew what was really going on, even though I still had a lot to learn. Then she became less available and started telling me things that didn't make any sense when I asked her out. One example I remember is, "I'm not sure where I am able to be at this time in my life." I thought to myself, what the hell does that mean? She told me about an operation she might have to have and other things going on that were supposedly hindering her spending time with me. She never did have the operation, and I heard from mutual friends that she had been out on the town with an ex-boyfriend. What was really going on was I was starting to over pursue, become too available, talking on the phone too much instead of in person, letting her walk all over me, etc. I'm gonna read one more page, and then I'm good. Why you need to read this book more than once. So I picked up my stack of books again, and I must have read through them 15 times. I found that I had missed a lot of information. Studies show that people only retain 7 to 10% of what they read after reading it. That is why I am going to recommend you reading this book 10 to 15 times if you really want to. That's why I am going to recommend you read this book 10 to 15 times if you really want to understand this material and have the relationship of your dreams. Repetition is the mother of skill, and you must understand all aspects of pickup, dating, and relationship to be successful long term. Guys who read my book, website articles, newsletters, and videos who are having problems usually don't know the material in this book well enough. I started applying this material I learned in earnest. It took about a month and a half of playing it cool until she went out with me again. It took me a year and a half to master the tools and techniques and get her to fall in love with me. I had finally done it. I got the lady of my dreams. We dated for about 2 years, and I was part of her daughter's life for many years after we broke up. Her daughter is all grown up now, and I can't believe how this tiny little 5-year-old I carried in my arms is now an adult. Kids change your life, and she changed mine. After going through this whole process, I learned some valuable lessons about myself. My own insecurities and doubts about being enough of a man to attract the lady of my dreams had all been an illusion. What you fear you attract, but what you look at disappears. I no longer feared beautiful women and was a completely centered and confident man. I noticed as I walk around, whether in the mall or grocery store or wherever, I now get a lot of looks from women, whereas before they never seemed to notice. It's all about carrying yourself with your chest out, your head back, and the feeling of being proud of yourself. Later in this book, I will go into excessive detail about body language that attracts women and how to emulate it. But using proper body language, facial expressions, and voice tone will make you appear to give off the same vibe energy as a captain of the football team does. Google Corey Wayne body language that attracts women. It's walking and acting exactly like a dominant alpha male walks. Everyone can feel when a dominant male or female walks into a room. It's like moths to a light bulb. Okay, I'm gonna stop from here. I'm tired. I'm hungry. It's getting late, and I hope this video helps. I will continue with this tomorrow. I'm gonna read this book in my car or outside. I finished on page 24. This page goes up to 258, so that's basically 260. So I have over 100 pages left to go, but it's fun. I love doing this shit, and I'm exercising my brain and my mind, and I'm improving my vocabulary. I know it's kind of boring because I'm inside, it's late. I don't want to wake people up, but tomorrow I'm gonna be more engaged. I'm gonna use my life examples, and I'm gonna be more in the present moment with it. I know it's kind of boring because I sound robotic, but I did not read like that. I'll read with passion and emotion. So again, this book, How to Be a 3% Man, I really recommend this book if you want to learn more about dating, romance, and stuff like that. It's a good manual. It's a very good book. So by Corey Wayne. That's all I gotta say. Have a good one. And I will make more videos reading about different books. And that's all I gotta say. Have a good one. Peace.